The railroad here in Miami, west of the railroad was colored town, and African Americans knew that they were not to go over that railroad track unless they had specific business. Similar to many of the cities in the South, there was a railroad which separated colored town from other people's town or from white town. And so they would refer, when they would be going back to colored town to attend church or whatever it was, they would say the phrase, "I'm going over town." And over a period of time, it just became a colloquialism, so to speak. You're not to do certain things. But in addition, white police officers would let them know, you're not allowed here. There wasn't a visible line, but there was an invisible line, which made it very clear that they were not to venture into white Miami without permission, without authorization. And when integration began and became enforced, all of the children had to go to their neighborhood school. And so my sister had to then go to Chatillon Elementary, which had been traditionally a white school. And she said that the first day she couldn't pay attention to the teacher because she was just so fascinated with the other children's hair and how they looked and whatnot, because she'd never really had a lot of experience with children who didn't look like her. They did a wade-in, so to speak. They could have sent young teenagers, but they put their own lives, their own livelihoods, their own families, their own reputations on the line in order to integrate the beach. So they went to the beach, wound up, I believe, getting arrested and whatnot, because the beaches at that time were designated white only. And wound up, because of that, the city of Miami ultimately designated a beach, which was Virginia Key Beach, for African Americans. And so I'm excited about talking about Judge Thomas and his contribution to Miami. And I did, of course, talked about Thurgood Marshall and some of the people on the national stage. And then I talked about Lawson Thomas. And I did my own research so that I could speak intelligently to children about his contribution. Those sacrifices which he made, as well as many others during the civil rights movement, that our children, my own children and children younger than my children, not take for granted. Their right to vote and their right to seek these careers, that we just not forget about all of the sacrifices that Judge Thomas and others made for them to have that opportunity. I remember the first time that I appeared in that courthouse. Unfortunately for the litigants here in Dade County, but fortunately for me, the probate division of the court had to move into that building several years ago because of some issues on the floor where that division was housed. And I had to begin appearing in the Lawson Thomas building. And I remember, walking into that lobby and seeing that picture on the wall and thinking, it's about time. It's about time. The pride and the excitement of thinking, wow, someone who had a difficulty even being able to argue his own cases in the courts here in Miami-Dade County, there's a building named for him, a beautiful building, one of our prettiest courthouses named for him. Well, I think the law office speaks not only to his profession, but it also speaks to the fact that he was an entrepreneur. He bought and developed his own building. He built a building and put his name out front. Washington, that means the same to children right now, that they need to know a black man born in 1898 invested the money to buy this land and to build this building and to put his name out front. I think that we need to think about Judge Thomas, if not daily. We need to think about the other lawyers who've come before us and the sacrifices which were made. And I want us to also communicate to young lawyers that they too need to not just babysit this profession, not just enjoy the perks and benefits of being an African American lawyer, but also continue to push that envelope, continue to expand, continue to build upon what others have laid as a foundation for us.